And we say good morning to you. Welcome. We are live at Champion Chevrolet. Who, where'd that warm weather go that we had for yesterday? We got up into the 30s. It felt good, but excuse me, not the case today. It is cold out there, but hey, it's going to be in the 40s by the weekend. Starting on Sunday, going to warm up. And I looked the extended forecast here in the Meta Tri-Cities. We're talking 50s by this time next week. So it's okay. We're going to make it. And so we say good morning to you. Thanks for being with us live here at Champion Chevrolet, the number one Chevy dealer in the state. Nobody sells more bow ties and Chevrolets than Champion Chevrolet from Memphis to Mountain City, Mountain City to Memphis. And so we got a full slate going on today. We love being here. Tomorrow we're going to be at Food City on the Volunteer Parkway in Bristol. Monday we're going to be at Movement Mortgage in Boones Creek. Tuesday with Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. Next Wednesday, Chick-fil-A. Let's see, next Friday we'll be at Food City in Jonesboro on a Food City Friday. So we'll just keep on keeping on as we roll into the middle part of the month of January. Today is show number 660, our 660th show. They said it wouldn't last, and here we are inside the studio, inside the showroom here at Champion Chevrolet on this cold Thursday, January the 4th, 2018. We always start our show by dedicating it to the man who hung on the cross. We unashamedly do that. Out of the book of Numbers, our verse for the day, Numbers 6:24 through 27 says, I will bless you and I will keep you. I will make my face to shine upon you. I will turn my face towards you and give you peace. There you go. Where's the bell? Do I have my little magic bell? Didn't get it out of my little magic satchel, but it's here. It's my cross bell. I like it. I love it. So there you go. It's a little cheesy, but anyway, it is what it is. Good morning to you. We have lots to talk about. A lot of folks coming in. Carmichael's going to join us at the top of the hour. Greg Salyer with the Major League Baseball update. Spring training not that far away, which is a good sign, which means warm weather is going to be coming our way in the not too distant future. Obviously, with spring training for all the big league clubs, there is some movement today in Major League Baseball. Greg will have an update for you on that. Also, we're going to be joined by Tiffany Willis, the Mountain States Foundation. Tiffany's going to tell us about the gala. It is winding down. Your opportunity to buy tickets for the gala coming up later this month. That'll be on the 27th, which will be 3 weeks from Saturday. Your chance to win tickets or to purchase tickets to win a brand spanking new choice of 3 different vehicles from right here at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. And so, by the way, go to the website at championjc.com. Co-owner Andy Dietrich's here with a brand new incentive for the month of January. They just came out yesterday, so we're going to let you know all about that coming up here in just a little while. We've got college basketball, we've got high school basketball, got the NFL, some more coaching changes. But we've got a lot of college football coming up. We have a coach in trouble. We've got the NCAA getting ready to make a milestone decision that they've never been forced to make before. We'll tell you what that is and what's going on with that coming up here in just a few minutes. Also, the coaching carousel continues. Rich Rodriguez out at Arizona. Who wants to be the new coach of the Wildcats? Interesting. Who are some of the names popping up that would be considered or certainly are wanting to be considered to be the head coach for Arizona? So lots going on. A couple of upsets last night in college basketball. NBA, the Celtics put one on the Cavaliers last night in Beantown. Watched some of that game, and it was tell you what, Celtics were clicking on all cylinders. So we've got the NBA, the National Hockey League, college basketball, college football, Major League Baseball, some high school sports, all that straight ahead, even some NASCAR news. And so we'll have all that for you here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, show number 660. Our countdown is on. We are 45 days away today from the Daytona 500. 45 days out from racing the Great American Challenge for the Daytona 500. Who won it a year ago? That would have been Kurt Busch, Stewart-Haas Racing Machine, the number 41. And so he'll be back to defend his crown 45 days from today. And for us here locally at Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's last great Coliseum, 101 days we have till the countdown is on to the Food City 500. Closer to that, of course, 100 days out for the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300, the Saturday Xfinity Series race on April the 14th. So the countdown is on, and it'll be here before you know it. And we're ready for it because when we get to April, that means warm weather. Basketball, tomorrow night we've got it for you. Elizabethton and Sullivan South in a doubleheader from John Tridway Gymnasium. Cyclones and the Rebels coming to town. We'll have that for you. Torrey Hill's Lady Rebels and, of course, Michael McMeans and the Boy Rebel basketball team of varsity. We'll have those for you on Friday night, tomorrow night. Then on Saturday, Dobbins Minute comes to town. We'll have those games for you as well. So got you some Elizabethton basketball tomorrow night and Saturday right here on the Facebook page and TomTaylorSports.com. Like us and share us. We would appreciate that. We'll take our first break. We'll come right back, and we'll roll right into a a lot of college football. A lot of college football, and it's good. We'll tell you all about that. National Championship coming up Monday, and a very special guest will be in the stands Monday night for Alabama and Georgia down at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. All the college football you'll need to know about coming up next year on show number 660 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard
set up with rental car and informing your agent. Then here the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
The 2018 Cal Calendar in now for a limited time at Chick-fil-A, The Crossings in North Johnson City. A 20th anniversary retrospective titled Steers of Yesteryear, including a card with a wide range of free food offerings across the Chick-fil-A menu. Only $8 plus tax, but hurry, supplies are limited. Each month gives you the chance to collect free Chick-fil-A menu items. The offers vary each month, but hurry, supplies are limited. The 2018 Chick-fil-A Steers of Yesteryear Calendar on sale now at Chick-fil-A at The Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show again, show number 660. A couple of birthdays today before we get started. Football Hall of Fame coach Don Shula, the Miami Dolphins, having a birthday today. 88 candles on his birthday cake. A couple of actresses, Diane Cannon having a birthday. Diane just watched a movie the other night, a Christmas movie, Christmas in Connecticut. Diane Cannon having a birthday, 79 today. And also Julia Ormond. Julia having a birthday, she is 53. And those are the birthdays again on this Thursday, again, January the 4th. And again, Don Shula, Football Hall of Fame coach Don Shula, the legendary, 72 undefeated Miami Dolphins. So Don Shula having a birthday, 88 candles on his birthday cake. You talking about as a logistical nightmare, although it's going to be cool, he's going to be there. But coming up for the national championship on Monday, the president's going to be in attendance at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. So security goes to a heightened awareness, unprecedented, of course, when the president's going to be in the stands. So security all over the place. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, will be in attendance Monday night for the College Football National Championship when Alabama plays Georgia. And so he will be there at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, again, home of the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. He will be hosted by Nick Ayers, who serves as Vice President Mike Pence's Chief of Staff, and his wife, Jamie. Ayers, a Georgia native, graduated from Kennesaw State, Trump won both Georgia and Alabama at the 2016 presidential election. No word on who he's supporting, but he'll undoubtedly be in very famous company watching the game, so the president will be there in attendance Monday night in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So again, as we said, from a logistical security night situation, it'll be a nightmare, because when the press comes, everything changes. I can guarantee you that. We've seen that in a limited capacity in years past at Bristol Motor Speedway, when some of the higher dignitaries in our government have come to town for the races, and things got heightened pretty quick. So when the press comes, oh boy. So President Trump in attendance Monday night, the national championship game. Central Florida putting its money where its mouth is when it comes to its imaginary national title. If you missed it following the win over Auburn, the Peach Bowl, UCF going all in on claiming it's a national championship, seeing how it's the only undefeated FBS team remaining. They're going to hang a banner. They're going to have a parade in Disney World over the weekend. Seems that it's even going to be paying its coaches bonuses for winning a national title. How about that? Athletic Director Danny White says, we're serious about this, and so if you're wondering, the bonus written in the Scott Frost contract for winning a national title was $200,000. University of Central Florida paying him that, as he is gone now, leaving, and has left to go be the head football coach at Nebraska. Frost, who left UCF after getting a 7-year, $35 million deal from Nebraska, and his coaches all getting a nice bonus to help them find new homes in Lincoln, Nebraska, I suppose. So I think he's taken most of the staff with him, and so Scott Frost gets $200,000 for winning a national title, which is what they are conceding in Orlando, University of Central Florida, and his assistant coaches will get bonuses as well. What else happening in college football? We told you yesterday it's getting messier by the day. Rich Rodriguez and the extramarital affair asked the administrative assistant to cover it up, keep it away from family, and then, of course, turn around and apparently hit on her and was desiring of her. She has filed a $7.5 million lawsuit. So Rich Rodriguez and his messy exit, as they're calling it, we're looking for a coach now in Arizona. Les Miles and the University of Arizona have mutual interest to fill the Wildcats head coaching vacancy. Miles has been tied to several openings this season. Last coached at LSU last year, where he was let go following a disappointing 2-2 start. In Baton Rouge, in 12 seasons, Les Miles won 114 games, lost 24, with the national championship in 2007. So Miles, no experience in the Pac-12, did serve as Colorado's offensive line coach back in the 80s. Arizona firing Rodriguez on Tuesday amid misconduct allegations. Rodriguez denied the claims on Twitter. He's gone, and so they're looking for a coach now. And so it looks like Les Miles may be the front runner. Also, Butch Jones has been mentioned as the potential head coach for Arizona as well, as Butch is yet to find a new home after being let go by the Tennessee Volunteers. Good morning to you. We're live at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile in Johnson City. Tomorrow, the Food City Friday. We'll be at Food City in the Volunteer Parkway in Bristol, Rick Miller's store. And I know Rick, big Tennessee fan, I'm sure he's elated with the news, of course, that Jeremy Pruitt's been named the new football coach for Tennessee and has been for a couple of weeks now. We haven't been back up there since that announcement, so I'm sure Rick Miller is ecstatic. He is a huge Tennessee football fan, so we'll talk to Rick tomorrow. We'll be live at Food City on the Volunteer Parkway in Bristol with a big one-day sale coming up at all Food Cities tomorrow. And we'll tell you we'll kind of tease you about some of the specials coming up here before the end of the show today. We will be there tomorrow. Monday at Movement Mortgage in Boones Creek, right there across from Cracker Barrel. Tuesday, we're going to be, where did I say it's going to be? Phil's Dream Pit? Nope, not Phil's Dream Pit. We're going to be Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We'll be at Phil's later on in the month. And so, Movement Mortgage on Monday, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance on Tuesday, Chick-fil-A next Wednesday, Thursday here, and next Friday will be at Food City in Jonesboro. So that's your schedule for next week as well. Now, with the departure of Rich Rodriguez, we got problems. This is an unprecedented situation the NCAA has to deal with. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's not the kid's fault. This guy gets fired after the early signing period, but here we go. First time since the adoption of the early signing period that a coach has been fired after recruits signed their letters of intent during the early period. Now, while there's plenty of interest in what led to Rodriguez's demise in Tucson, extramarital affairs and all the stuff that is coming out now about what he did and his, I don't know, it's almost like a sophomore in high school, some of the stuff he did. Anyway, where does Arizona go from here to replace him? there's something else that's kind of brewing out there that's even bigger. What happens to the 16 kids who sent in their letters of intent last month? With Rodriguez's ouster, there are now 16 recruits who made their commitment to Rich Rodriguez and Arizona who no longer have any idea who their coaches will be when they arrive on campus. This is a legitimate concern. Over the last year or so, they developed a relationship with the coaching staff that might be entirely different now, but they're currently locked into the situation with their letter of intent. So what do you do if you're the NCAA? Well, obviously the right thing to do is release them and say, okay, situations beyond your control, you signed that letter of intent with good intentions, assuming, of course, and trusting in good faith that Rich Rodriguez and his staff would be the coach and coaching staff for the football team you signed on to play for. And so now that they're gone, there's no way in God's green earth they can hold these kids to, I mean, that would be totally, totally wrong to hold these kids to the letter of intent, signing it knowing full well that, or not knowing full well that this guy was going to be in hot water. Now, the one claim the NCAA can say, well, wait a minute. The school's been investigating him all the way back in October. Been after him for about 10 weeks. The school retained counsel to investigate allegations of sexual harassment in October of 2017, nearly 2 full months before the early signing period. Okay, but that doesn't mean the kids knew about it. It doesn't mean the kids are going to, I mean, there's no way these recruits should be held accountable for the actions of Rich Rodriguez and, of course, the coaching staff, who I think is coming out now. Some of them knew very well, and all too well, what was going on in and around the coaching office there. And so, anyway, how many of these 16 kids who signed in December were made aware of the investigation beforehand? I wouldn't think Rich Rodriguez would come out and say, look, guys, I want you to sign, but there's some stuff coming down here, and there may be some troubled waters ahead. I don't see them doing that. How many were told there was a real chance that Rodriguez would no longer be the coach if they chose to sign with the school? Probably not very many. All of which means these recruits signing with Arizona under false pretenses and should be allowed out of their letters of intent if they so choose to ask for release. I think that's the right thing to do, and I think that's what they should do. We'll see what the NCAA decides to do, but 16 kids signed on to play for Arizona and Rich Rodriguez last month, the early signing period, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, and so now he's gone. He's been fired after the early signing period. A lot of his coaches are going to be gone, so they don't have a head coach yet. These kids are kind of hanging in the balance. What should they be made to do? They should be allowed to, if they want to. Some may say, I'm going to go ahead and ride it out. I want to play for Arizona, regardless who the coach is. And then that's good. But if the situation arises they want to go somewhere else, they should be allowed to. This is not their fault. A couple of more college football stories. LSU really wanted to keep their defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda, and the school was apparently willing to fork over a large amount of money to make sure he would stay. Head coach Ed Orgeron said yesterday he was very happy to report that Dave has agreed to be with the program for years to come. Expected to be getting a guaranteed, this is the defensive coordinator, guaranteed $10 million to be the defensive coordinator at LSU. Report indicated he will be on a 4-year contract worth $2.5 annually, guaranteed $10 million. This will be a significant raise. He was earning about $1.8 last year, so he jumps, $700,000 pay raise? That'll get you some specials tomorrow at Food City. Aranda, I've heard it pronounced both ways, 41, finished his second season as LSU's defensive coordinator, where LSU ranked 12th in the country in yards allowed. The team also finished 14th in points allowed this past season, so it's okay. It's not great. It's in the top 15 in both categories in Division I football, so I guess that's fairly impressive. But anyway, this guy's getting a guaranteed $10 million. He'll stay on as the defensive coordinator for the LSU Bayou Bengals. One of the biggest keys to Oklahoma's offensive success last year, leaving the big boy Orlando Brown, announcing he will give up his year of eligibility to turn pro. Orlando Brown, a 6'8", 345-pound freak, as they call him, a franchise tackle. Can you imagine looking up on the schedule and going, oh my gosh, coming up on Saturday, I have to go up against Orlando Brown, 6'8", 345-pounder, pounding on you all ball game. Whoo, boy. So, anyway, big offensive lineman, one of the best offensive tackles in the country, no question. And so 6'8", 345-pound Orlando Brown says, I'm out. I'm going to turn pro early. So, there you go. That's a look at college football. Some of the news going on with Arizona. Again, the president will be in attendance Monday night in the national championship game. So I guarantee you, as we speak, what is this, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? They got 4 days, and I'm sure the Secret Service and the folks have got themselves a good situation going on. But I guarantee you, I guarantee you when the Prez rolls into Atlanta Monday night for the national championship, they're going to be crawling with Secret Service and the security, and so it'll be unprecedented. There's going to be a lot of folks there making sure the president's safe and secure to watch the football game. We're here live at Champion Chevrolet. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. My man's in the house. We're going to get Cletus Green in to talk. Andy has a prior commitment, so Cletus Green joins us coming up next here. So we're live at Champion Chevrolet on show number 660 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Here live from Champion Chevrolet, again, on this Thursday, January the 4th. We'll be right back right after you hear this.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at FCA.org.
It's the best month of the year to buy a new Chevy at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City with unbelievable savings on over 200 2017s in stock. The rarely offered Chevrolet Employee Discount for Everyone offers the best savings of the year. 17 Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs, $10,000 off MSRP. 17 Corvettes, 20% off MSRP. 18 Equinox LS, $22,740. 17 Track, $17,983. Remember our Saturday parts and service hours and online shopping 24/7. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Champion Chevrolet, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We are live again. We are here at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City, on this Thursday. And again, coming up, we've got, oh boy, when the door opens, you grab the papers. There we go. All right, we're right. Normally it's not a problem, but today, with the wind outside, you open that door, it's going all over the place. So anyway, as we told you, we The president will be in attendance for the national championship game coming up on Monday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. So that's big news, of course. And as we said, security will be heightened. That sometimes is good, sometimes not so good, but it all depends on how you look at it. But the president will be there, again, as we said, for the football game coming up on Monday night. College basketball from last night, let's take a look at it. You had one upset. I had two upsets, actually. North Carolina losing on the road in Tallahassee to Florida State. The Tar Heels, the defending national champions, now 12-3, losing 81-80. Seminoles improved to 12-2, 24th ranked team in the country. And so you also have another upset. Hello, Steve McCauley from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, said he likes the cross bell. A little cheesy as far as the bell, but the point is the bell may be cheesy, but the cross ain't. How about that? So there you go. Cross is awesome. So anyway, 64-54, 15th ranked Miami defeats, or rather Georgia Tech knocks off 15th ranked Miami, 64-54. The Ramblin' Wreck improves to 7-7. Miami falls to 12-2. Other ball games last night, it was 14th ranked Purdue defeating Rutgers by 31, blew them out 82-51. Kentucky goes into LSU at Pete Maravich Arena and defeats LSU. Final score there 74-71. Kentucky now 11-2 and 16th in the country. And the Kentucky Wildcats roll into Thompson Bowling Arena on Saturday night. It has been declared a sellout. Tennessee and Kentucky in Knoxville Saturday night. No tickets. They'll be hanging off the rafters when the Wildcats come to town. 9th ranked Virginia goes into Castle Coliseum last night and blows out Virginia Tech. Beat them by 26, 78-52 the final. Again, Virginia now 13-1. Hokies fall to 11-3. One other top 25 college basketball game, actually two more. You have Oklahoma in the Battle of Oklahoma, defeating Oklahoma State. Beat them by 20, 109-89. 12th ranked Sooners now 12-1 on the season. Oklahoma State falls to 10-4. And 25th ranked Clemson. The Tigers in the ACC defeat Boston College to run their record out of 13-1. Winning last night, final score there was 74-70. There's my man Chris McCall's in the house. Hokey, hokey, hokey. right on cue. Hokey, hokey, hokey. All right, tonight, top 25 college basketball. We have some more games. Or actually for tonight, you have 4th ranked Arizona State at Colorado, 14th ranked Arizona at Utah to battle the Utes, 19th ranked Cincinnati, the Bearcats put their 11-2 mark on the line at Temple tonight against the Owls. And the Pepperdine Waves, I like it. The Waves will be against number 20th ranked Gonzaga, the Bulldogs, 12-3. So that's top 25 college basketball for tonight. For the ladies, the 7th ranked Lady Vols tonight put their undefeated mark on the line at Thompson Bowling Arena. They will host Auburn tonight in women's college basketball at Thompson Bowling Arena in K-Town. On the ice, the National Hockey League last night had a couple of games. That was about it. Full slate tonight. Last night, Detroit skates past Ottawa 2-1. Detroit now 15-16 on the season. Ottawa drops to 12-18. Also, the Chicago Blackhawks go into New York and skate past the Rangers 5-2. Blackhawks pick up their 19th win of the season. Then for today, we've got a full slate, including the Nashville Predators skating in Arizona. Nashville 23-10, Arizona only 9-26, one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League. They'll skate tonight in Arizona. Florida skates at Boston. Islanders tonight in Philadelphia. Toronto, the Maple Leafs hosting the San Jose Sharks. Carolina goes into Pittsburgh skating against the Stanley Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins. Tampa Bay will be in Montreal tonight. Tampa Bay with the best record in the National Hockey League. Vegas, the Golden Knights will go into St. Louis to skate against the Blues. Vegas 25 wins under their belt. The St. Louis Blues are 24-15. That'll be a good matchup there. Buffalo skates in Minnesota tonight. Dallas on the ice hosting New Jersey. LA the Kings in Calgary to skate against the Flames. Columbus travels to Colorado to skate against the Avalanche. And Anaheim, the Ducks will be in Edmonton skating against the Oilers tonight in the National Hockey League. And the Predators and the Great Southwest skating against Arizona tonight. The Predators 23-10 and Arizona at 9-26, and that's what's going on there for the National Hockey League for the action tonight around the area. Then we'll go to the NBA. Let's take a look at there. What happened last night? Game that was kind of the marquee matchup. Didn't really turn out to be, as the Celtics again all over the Cleveland Cavaliers when the game was supposed to have been close. Wasn't. 102-88, 14-point win by the Celtics in Beantown. One upset, Brooklyn, a 13-game winner so far in the season, knocks off a 22-game winner, Minnesota, 98-97. Other games last night, Washington an 8-point win over the Knickerbockers in Washington. Philadelphia beat the Spurs, who set most of their starters down last night. Beat them nonetheless, 112-106 in Philadelphia. Houston all over Orlando, beat them by 18, 116-98. As we said, it was Miami defeating Detroit 111-104. Again, Boston over Cleveland 102-88. Also last night on a full slate of the NBA, it was Oklahoma City blowing out the Lakers in Los Angeles by 37, 133-96. Denver, a 23-point win over Phoenix. New Orleans goes into Utah and beats them by 10. Golden State struggles to beat Dallas in Dallas. Dallas only a 12-win team, and Golden State had to rally to beat them 125-122. Golden State now a record of 30-8, the best in the NBA. And Milwaukee with a 21-point win over Indiana last night in Milwaukee. And Toronto goes into Chicago and wins by 9, 124-115. Marquee matchup tonight in the NBA. The two best teams in the league square off tonight. Golden State at 30-8 will be in Houston against the Rockets, who are at 26-9, and they'll go tonight right around 8 o'clock. That'll be nationally televised. So the two best in the NBA about to square off tonight. Golden State in Houston against the Rockets. One other game, Oklahoma City takes on the Los Angeles Clippers tonight. And that game will be in Los Angeles. That's a look at the NBA, look at college basketball, and also a look at the National Hockey League. Quick break. We'll be right back. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet. We're here on this cold Thursday. We'll take a break. We'll be right back, and we'll have more for you right after you hear this on show number 660 from Champion Chevrolet on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
This is Phil Pipkin, owner of Phil's Dream Pit. Do you like smoked turkey? Do you like smoked ham? For your Christmas or New Year's dinner, enjoy a spiral sliced smoked ham or smoked turkey breast, smoked right here at Phil's Dream Pit. Smoked hams, 9 to 11 pounds at $8.50 a pound. The smoked turkey breast goes from 2 to 4 pounds at $11.49 per pound. Order by Tuesday, December the 19th. Pick up Friday, December the 22nd, or Saturday, December 23rd. Let us take care of your Christmas or New Year's dinner with a smoked turkey breast or spiral smoked ham. Call 349-6437. Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
The 2018 Cal Calendar in now for a limited time at Chick-fil-A, The Crossings in North Johnson City. A 20th anniversary retrospective titled Steers of Yesteryear, including a card with a wide range of free food offerings across the Chick-fil-A menu. Only $8 plus tax, but hurry, supplies are limited. Each month gives you the chance to collect free Chick-fil-A menu items. The offers vary each month, but hurry, supplies are limited. The 2018 Chick-fil-A Steers of Yesteryear Calendar on sale now at Chick-fil-A at The Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. One other college ball game, pretty big one close to home. East Tennessee State on the road tonight in Sanford, Alabama. 8 o'clock tip-off at the Pete Hanna Center in Birmingham, Alabama. Again, the Buccaneers and Sanford, when they meet on the court. Close game usually ensues. Two teams square off tonight at 8 o'clock. Coach Forbes has a 5-0 record against the Sanford Bulldogs, and in 4 regular season games, his team averages a margin of victory has just been 5 points. That counts a 10-point victory at Sanford last year, a game that went into double overtime. So Bucks on a roll. East Tennessee State have won 8 out of the last 9. They're now 10-4. And a 19-point New Year's Eve victory at Mercer, a team the Southern Conference coaches picked to win the league, kind of got everybody's attention. So they'll play at Sanford tonight. Again, the Bucks, as we said, winners of 8 out of the last 9, improving to 10-4 on the season. And so big game tonight for the Buccaneers on the road before they come back home for a couple. And so a big ball game there. Also, Milligan College is a big game on Saturday. They've won 3 in a row. We hope to have Coach Robinson on the show tomorrow. They've got a big game coming up on Saturday at 4 o'clock against Montreat at Steve Lacey Fieldhouse in Milligan. Also, the Lady Buffs play the early game at 2 o'clock. The men played 4, so if you're looking for a place to go watch, it's a great atmosphere, small college basketball at Milligan College. The Buffaloes will be hosting Montreat. Big ball game for both the Lady Buffs and for the men's team, the Buffaloes, coming up again Saturday, 2 o'clock for the ladies and 4 o'clock for the men. And we hope to have Coach Robinson on the show tomorrow, as we'll be at Food City on the Volunteer Parkway in Bristol. Speaking of, let's see about some of those specials. Here's the sale paper. Let's run it down for you real quick. For tomorrow's sale, the one-day only sale at all Food City locations. Little Debbie snack cakes, 99 cents a box, limit 4. That's today, or rather tomorrow only. Frito-Lay Doritos, limit 4 bags per person, $1.99. Harvest Club Idaho potatoes, either red or white potatoes, 5-pound mesh bag for $1.99. Also tomorrow at all Food Cities, just in time for this cold snap, Food Club Chunky Soup, 99 cents a can, or Food Club Saltine Crackers, or both, limit 8, 99 cents a can tomorrow. I can tell you right now, I'll be loading up on the sirloin burger soup. Man, it is awesome. Also tomorrow, some of the specials going on. Food Club soft drinks, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans for $1.99. If you like tuna, Food Club in water or oil chunk light tuna, 2 cans for $1, limit 6 tomorrow. And also Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh lunch meats for $2.99. And then Fairlife Milk or Simply Orange Juice, $2.99. Those are some of the specials tomorrow. Run them all down for you. Tomorrow we'll be at Food City at the Volunteer Parkway in Bristol. NFL news, again, the playoffs coming up on Saturday and Sunday, the wild card weekend. On Saturday, the early game, 4:35 kickoff, Tennessee, the Titans in Kansas City to battle the Chiefs. That'll be coming up again on Saturday. That's the early game. The second game, the NFC wildcard playoff, Atlanta, the Falcons will be in L.A. to battle the Rams at 8:15 on Saturday night. On Sunday, the early game, AFC wildcard playoff game, Buffalo, the Bills in Jacksonville taking on the Jags at 1:05. Then on Sunday, the second game, the late game, will be Carolina in New Orleans to battle the Saints at 4:40. Winners move on. Of course, losers go home. And so as a matter of fact, the Kansas City, Tennessee winner will go. They'll play the winner of the Buffalo. That doesn't make any sense. Buffalo at New England. Now, we won't get to that point because this doesn't make any sense. This is a typo. Anyway, the winners move on. The losers go home. And the winners will move into the next round of the divisional playoffs next week. Again, the teams are sitting back there. The bye this week would be in the NFC, Philadelphia and the Minnesota Vikings. In the AFC, with a bye in the first round, the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they'll be waiting to see. Packers continue to make some moves in the front office. They continue to clean house. Packers have decided to get rid of offensive coordinator Edgar Bennett and quarterbacks coach Alex Van Pelt. Heads have been rolling in Green Bay since Sunday, when the Packers' 7-9 season ended with a loss to the Lions, 35-11. Besides Bennett and Van Pelt, the Packers have also fired the defensive coordinator Dom Capers, demoted their general manager Ted Thompson over the last 48 hours. They have retained their coach Mike McCarthy for the Packers for a one-year extension. He'll be there through the 2019 season. Doesn't necessarily mean he's safe, but right now he has a paycheck and he's there. And so Packers president Mark Murphy said that McCarthy would be sticking around for the 2018 season. But again, the rate of turnover in Green Bay, unprecedented. Before this week, McCarthy had fired a total of only one offensive or defensive coordinator during his 12 seasons as a coach. In a period of 72 hours since Sunday, the Packers coach doubled that total with the firing of Capers. Also, linebackers coach Scott McCurley among those canned over the last 72 hours. So the Packers cleaning house. The latest guys to get the axe will be Dom Capers, the defensive coordinator, general manager Ted Thompson, and now quarterbacks coach Alex Van Pelt, and offensive coordinator Green Bay Packers Edgar Bennett. So yes, they're making some noise and getting somebody's attention in Green Bay. Also, the rumor mill continues to swirl in Oakland. John Gruden says, yes, I am definitely a candidate for the head coaching job for the Oakland Raiders. So we'll see how that will all transpire for the Raiders in the weeks and days and weeks to come. With that Rooney Rule, they've got to, the NFL mandates you have to interview minorities for head coaching positions. So they have not done that yet. You think there's two ways to look at this. Come on in, Cletus. There's two ways to look at this. If you are a minority in the Rooney Rule, okay, one would be, why even bother, because it's pretty much predetermined they want to get John Gruden as the new coach. Okay. The other side, a couple of guys that they have talked to said, what are you going to do if you get asked to interview the position? Said, I'm going to go, because they may be sold on Gruden, but till I get in there and get a chance to sell myself, I may be able to sway them and they'll actually hire me. There's two ways to look at it. I would go with B. I'd go in there and, what the heck, what do you got to lose? Get in there and stir the pot a little bit and see if you can't sell yourself to be the head coach of the Raiders. But there's been several minorities that have backed off and said, we're not interested because we think it's just a formality. They're not interested in hiring us. They're just doing it to check off and say, we have done what we're supposed to do, and we have interviewed minorities for this position who have no chance of getting the job. So it's two ways to look at it. Another way to look at it, my man's in the house. We haven't had him in here for a while, but he is here, and we certainly appreciate him. That would be, let's get him on the screen here, because you don't want to see me. He wants to see the man. Cletus Green. Boom. There you go, inside his studio he created. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Hope you are.
Yeah. Did you have a good Christmas?
I did. Had exceptional.
Awesome.
Exceptional. Good New Year. Everybody's off to a good year, I hope.
Mm-hmm. Good start.
Good start.
Yeah. So this cold weather, we don't have snow. We have cold weather. Does that drive truck sales?
It can.
Snow drive truck sales?
Well, snow about always. People get stuck one time, then all of a sudden they decide they need it. Or remember they need it.
Yes.
Look at it that way.
When the snowdrifter going, honey, we need a truck.
Yep.
Yes, darling, we do.
I wanted one anyway, and as soon as she can't go, it's okay if he gets one.
Exactly right.
Everything works out well.
Yep.
But a lot of times when it's this cold, if we don't get, traffic will slow down just a little bit, but most of the people showing up, they actually want something if they're getting out of the car at 20 degrees. They actually want to have legitimate questions answered and trying to find real information. So it's a good thing.
This is perfect weather to get on the website, championjc.com. You can sit at home where there is heat, and you can get on there and you can look, and you can just about do everything you need before you even get in here, right?
Absolutely. You can have the car bought. All you have to do is walk in here, sign a couple pieces of paper, and drive out. We've had people in and out as quick as 10 minutes when they've done everything in advance, and so it's it definitely can change things a lot. Definitely the picking process, because you don't have to walk around in 20-degree weather to pick one out. You can kind of pick out which one you want. Call in here, talk to one of these guys. They'll pull it up front and have it warm when you show up. You can get in it and drive it.
when you get on the website at championjc.com, when you get on there, you see that door opens. It's a windsock. But when you get on, thank you, Jay. When you get on championjc.com and you pick out a vehicle, how many pictures? 14, 15 pictures
at
of that
least. We got that minimum on some get as many as in the 30s, depending on the vehicle and how much extra stuff there is to show about it.
So instead of coming over today and walk around in the cold, you can get on the net at championjc.com and say, I want to look at that 2014 Chevrolet Impala. And so there's all those pictures to look at it. So you actually, it's almost like you've come over here and got in it and checked it out because it's that thorough.
It is. She tries to get a picture, and then a lot of times I know it doesn't really matter, but she'll get a picture of all four wheels. So she, when we take them, there's enough information there that you're not questioning what you're coming to look at.
Yep. And then also you look at the opportunity to get these used vehicles previously owned, because Andy said you had a good run between Christmas and New Year's, a lot of trade-ins, and so there's some new inventory that you said, well, I checked it 2 weeks ago, and it's constantly being updated, right?
It changes as quick as we close the deal on buying the car. So if you trade today and we close the deal today, it'll be on the website in the morning. Mm-hmm. We won't have pictures that fast. Mm-hmm. But there'll be some information on there, and of course, a lot of times if you're looking for anything real specific, a low mileage diesel or something that's a little harder for you to find every single day, finding it without the pictures is a lot of times your best way to get in and get it before everybody else, because a lot of people won't react till they see a picture. You pick up the phone, call one of these guys on the phone, Jay will answer you, sit there, talk to him a couple of minutes, find out the color and the miles and the rest of the information that wasn't on there. But if it looks like something you got interest in, the earlier you react, the better chance you have of getting it before. Once the pictures are out there and everybody can see it, if it's something that's really hard to get a hold of, it gets gone super fast.
Mm-hmm. It's a good point. So, point all that is you can check it out today or anytime, really. Even though it's cold, or it can be 85 degrees in July or 18 today, or whatever it is outside. It's pretty cold, that wind chill. But again, championjc.com is what you want to take a look at, and that's how you, again, can go shopping. Financially, you can take care of that part of it too, right, on the net?
Absolutely. You can do everything but pick the car up.
Yeah. And if you call ahead of time, Cletus or one of the salesmen or salespeople will have, as you said, up front, gassed up, heater running,
ready to go,
ready to walk out the door.
Right situation, and you can do everything online. We can bring it to you.
Yeah.
So in some cases, you may not even have to actually be here.
Tell me about an SUV. Give me a good SUV, Chevrolet SUV. Which one would you recommend for, let's say, a young couple getting ready to have their first child, and they're in a four-door, they want to bump up to an SUV? What would you recommend?
Well, Equinox is probably the best jump. Great gas mileage, great driving vehicle. You can get it, from a standard model with just a few options to a loaded-up model with sunroofs and everything in it. The biggest thing with the Equinox is if their baby was your height, he can sit in the back seat.
It'd be baby Huey. He's my height. There you go.
I'm just saying, if granddad needs to jump the back seat and go with him, and he's your height, he can sit back there with the baby.
He can do it.
And a lot of stuff you may think it's big, but you go to get in the back seat and there's no room. And the Equinox has a very large back seat, so it gives you a lot of space if somebody taller needs to be in the back seat. So it's a big plus for its size vehicle.
Talking to Cletus Green, Champion Chevrolet. Coming up top of the hour, Carmichael's going to join us. Got all kinds of things to talk about. Greg Salyer joins us. Also, later on to the show, talking Major League Baseball. Spring training, not that far away, which kind of gets us fired up because that means warm weather. I'm looking outside watching these flags whip here on the lot of Champion Chevrolet. And to say, I don't know, how big is that, the Old Glory right there through the window? That thing's huge. To get it flapping like it is, that's a pretty strong wind.
I think that's the store next door, and I believe it's a 20 by 30, I think is what they had. We had a 30 by 50.
Yeah, 30 by 50.
And we're having some problems with a rope, so it's we can't get it down. The pulley's messed up, so it's attached to the pole. So if anybody comes by and sees that, we've had Snyder signs in here, and they can't. Their hydraulics in this cold will let them get up high enough to get it down, so that's where it's going to be for a day or two.
There it is, so 30 by 50. So the winds are whipping. Tell me about the two of the nameplates of Chevrolet. Tell me the selling points of an Impala and the selling points of a Malibu.
Well, the Impala is probably one of the best large cars on the market. It comes in a wide variety of equipment. You can get that car to suit just about anybody out there. If you need everything, it comes with it. If you need transportation, you can get it down where, power windows, power locks, and air conditioner are standard nowadays. You don't have those things as options anymore. Automatic transmission, things we used to think of we had to pay extra for, that comes on the leased model now. So they all come fairly well equipped, but you can add sunroofs and leather and larger wheels and rear spoilers. There's all kinds of things you can add to that car if you want to sport up your ability to ride in luxury.
So Impalas, they go in snow?
They're front wheel drive, so they're going to go in most of the snow we get.
Because we don't get the big snows. I mean, I saw where Boston's we get a foot. Yeah. We typically don't get that kind of snow around here. So what we get,
it's front wheel drive. So most people have gotten the habit now. They can get where they need to go in a front wheel drive car. Of course, new cars going to have new tires. As long as you keep the new tires on it, they'll get along pretty good.
A Malibu. Tell me about a Malibu.
Well, Malibu's the next step down. They come in. You can get an LS, an LT, or a Premier. The Premier replaced what we used to have as an LTZ. They also make a hybrid version, and I have one of those in stock as well. So if getting that little extra mileage is something that you have on your mind, that will get you there. Still the same car as far as your trunk space being more than enough, and your seating and things like that being good. Very, very good cars. And then you go down to our Cruze. That's one of our probably bigger nameplates as far as sales. It drops down in size a little bit, but it's a great little car.
For a guy my size, which one would I want?
I mean,
a lot of leg room, a lot of headroom.
You could get in any of them. The Impala's probably going to give you the most space, in that being torso up, giving you that extra space there. Leg room, you're not going to have a lot of problem in any of them. The seats will articulate back far enough to get you in about any of them. But when you start getting into your upper body, torso, and you don't want your head bumping, or you want to keep your cowboy hat on, then the Impala is going to give you the most room.
Last question, don't know my man Cletus Green. Your official title is?
New car sales manager.
There you go. New car sales manager. He knows what he's talking about. So most colleges have not went back yet. So if mom and dad are out there, or whoever, grandparent, aunt, uncle, said, we're going to come and get a new ride for the college kid heading back to college in a couple of weeks, what would you got a lot of previously owned, obviously they can choose from, great for your budget, but if you want to get a new Chevrolet, what would you recommend?
Well, Sonic's probably the best equipped in the price range. It's one of our smaller cars, but it's great for that. It's a heavy enough car to go down the Interstate 75 and get where they need to go. Small enough car to get parked in the tight college parking lots where you have very little space. It's a good transition car because they can drive it when they graduate and get that professional until they get to pay their own bill and buy something different. But it's they're good little cars and real inexpensive to maintain and take care of, so you don't have a lot of outgo as the time goes.
ChampionJC.com. If on a day like today, that's where you'd want to go. Get on the internet and kind of surf it and find out. You can pick what you're looking for. You can break it down by car make, car model, color, your budget, what kind of price you're looking for. You can also get do your financial business, I guess, for lack of a better term, right there on the web.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, I can tell you firsthand, when I got mine, that's exactly what it did. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, got on the Champion website, started perusing, and I said, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one. Pulled up the pictures, called up the salesman guy, and I just forgot he has since retired. Just went totally blank. Ron, thank you. Ron, who has since retired. I said, Ron, yeah, man. I said, I'd like to come on and try one of these, test drive these 3. So, okay. So I came the next day. They were sitting out here. Keys were in them. Drove off. The one I liked is one I bought. Went upstairs, signed the paperwork. Done. Gone.
Absolutely. And it's supposed to be that easy. Buying a car is supposed to be an exciting time, not something that makes you feel bad or you dread or you hate. You need to come in. You're buying something you really want. Hopefully the experience suits that. We're not trying to cut a big toe off. We're trying to add to your life, not take away from it. So we want you to enjoy it. And most experiences we have way more happy than sad with any experience they have with us. My guys all are professionals, have been at it for a really long time. We don't have anybody here that tries to shortchange anybody. We give you the time that you need to make the decision you need, and try to give the information the best that we can.
You got it. Champion Chevrolet, that's why they're the number 1 Chevy dealer in the state. Nobody sells more Chevys from Mountain City to Memphis than Champion Chevrolet. I think Tim said there's 50 or 51 dealerships in the state, Chevy dealerships. I think it's 50, 51, or 52. and they're consistently number one in the state selling them. So, which is incredible. You're beating Memphis and Nashville and Chattanooga. I have no clue. I'm sure there's more than one. Nashville in particular. I'm sure there's more than one Chevy dealership in Nashville.
There's 4 in Knoxville.
There's 4 in Knoxville. Wow. There you go. That
So
kind of tells you.
There's 4 here.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just try to do the same thing consistently.
Yeah.
And try not to make any big change with our attitudes or anything else, and try to take care of people, because that's the biggest thing. It's the people that makes it all happen. There's nothing we can do without them.
There you go.
As long as we keep them happy and they come back and give us opportunity, then things work. If we don't make them happy, they don't come back, it don't work.
That's
I mean,
it.
and that them people have to be happy and they have to be satisfied, and some things are harder to achieve than others when it comes to that, but most people are very reasonable with their expectations, and we try to make sure we meet or exceed that.
Just treat them right.
Treat them right.
That's all they want. Good job. Cletus Green, new car sales manager here at Champion Chevrolet.
I need 30 seconds.
Go.
I would like to congratulate my son, Daniel Green.
Yes.
He is going to sign with Tennessee Wesleyan College in Athens, Tennessee, to run cross country and track.
Going to be a Bulldog.
Going to be a Bulldog.
Tennessee Wesleyan. When's the signing date?
Well, it's supposed to be tomorrow, as long as Volunteer's not out of school.
Yeah. Good
So
point. If they're out of school,
they were out today for the little snow flurry down there. So as long as they're not out tomorrow, it's supposed to be tomorrow.
Awesome. Daniel Green, Volunteer High School, signing to run cross country at Tennessee Wesleyan
and track
down to Athens, Tennessee.
Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Congratulations, Papa. You a happy daddy?
Well, until the bills come.
Oh, I know that feeling. Quick break. We'll be right back. Again, congratulations, Daniel Green, Volunteer, going to run track and cross country at Tennessee Wesleyan. Coming up next, Carmichael, we got a lot we're going to put into work. Lots to talk about next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE Master Technicians here. With the ratio, goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitat, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We're here at Champion Chevrolet. I guess we should start singing. Remember that song was Linda Ronstadt singing Heat Wave?
Yeah, it was Martha and
Vandellas.
Martha and Vandellas had it originally, and when Linda did all of her covers back in the 70s, she did Heat Wave.
Heat Wave, because we just checked the forecast for next week. It's going to be cold through Saturday, going to warm up, and by this time next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, it's going to be in the 50s here in the Tri-Cities. Yay! So that's how I get through this, thinking, okay, it's not going to be too hot or too cold for too long here in our region, so and that's certainly the case. It is cold, no question, but it's going to warm up, and that's a good thing. So we're here again at Champion Chevrolet in the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. Carmichael's in the house. All right, let's jump in and go. We got lots to talk about. College football semifinal. What was your take on Georgia and Oklahoma?
They ought to make Lincoln Riley. They shouldn't have let Lincoln Riley back on the bus, the plane. He should have had to walk back to. That was as poor a head coaching job at the end of that game. Not just, the biggest bone is the first overtime. Mm-hmm. You've got the Heisman Trophy winner quarterback, and you have him hand off 3 times in a row. Mm-hmm. I mean, even Butch Jones is smart enough to figure that you got to kind of, Butch couldn't use Alvin Kamara, but I would say out of 1 of 3 plays, he would at least have his Heisman winning quarterback try to make a play. Mm-hmm. And he didn't. And they got the last 4 possessions Oklahoma had, they got so tight, so conservative, and they could have put that game. They could have put it away in regulation, and didn't do it. And then the squib kicked in the first half. That was a killer, because now you come back and look at it and you say, because they got 3 points. If you just kick it down in the end zone, put them on the 25, Georgia, might try to run a play, but even if they do, they've only got 2 plays at best, and you make it a little bit tougher for them. But you gave up that 3 points at the end of the first half. And then you go into an overtime game. Little just simple coaching mistakes that he did, that he got out. To me, he got out coached.
I thought Blankenship's field goal right before halftime was huge for Georgia. That put him back in, at least psychologically put him back in the game.
Turn the momentum of the game completely around.
I agree.
Because they gave up the touchdown, but then they came back right there and got 3 and said, you know what, if we could hold them one time here at the beginning of the half, we get the ball back. Mm-hmm. We know we can move it on them. And it was just, it was 2 different things. Scott Frost would not have lost that game if you watched Central Florida play Auburn, and how he was, even at the end of the game when Auburn was coming back and making a run on offense, how he still didn't, he put the, he kept moving the ball. Scott Frost wouldn't have lost that game for Oklahoma. So Oklahoma better be glad one thing, they're still in the Big 12 and they can coach against Mike Gundy every year. And number 2, Nebraska's not in the Big 12 anymore, and they don't have to worry about Scott Frost, because that was just a horrible coaching job.
We told you earlier in the show, Orlando Browns is going to go to the pros, the big 6'8", 345 offensive tackle for Oklahoma leaving, going to go out early to test the waters of the National Football League. Of course, at 6'8", 345, he won't be doing much testing. He'll get signed from somebody.
His dad was one of the great offensive linemen. Zeus was the one that had his career ended when the referee threw the beanbag and hit him in the eye, and he died a few years ago. Had some health issues, diabetes issues, but his son is just as great an offensive lineman as he is. He should go early in the draft.
Again, we are live here at Champion Chevrolet till the top of the hour. Again, we're broadcasting live here again with our buddy, the man, the myth, the legend, our buddy Carmichael. So, Central Florida having a parade in Disney World this weekend. Their coaches got a bonus as if they won the national championship in their contract. Scott Frost got a $200,000 bonus, even though he's gone and moved on to Nebraska. So the athletic director, Danny White, says, we're serious. We won this thing. We think we're the national champions because of what we did. And so they continue to crow. They're the national champion. What's your take?
They have just as much of a claim at being the national champion as the winner of this made-for-TV game on Monday. and you say what you want, but it's a made-for-TV game because there's no qualification. To get in the Final Four, what are the qualifications? There's nothing. It doesn't say, well, if you win the conference, you're in the Final Four. 2 teams won two of the Big 5 won their conference and didn't get in. Central Florida won the American Conference, which is probably the next conference down from the Big 5. They didn't get in. So to me, it's just it's a made-for-TV show.
So who won that you felt like should have been in the Final Four wasn't? Ohio State?
Probably Ohio State ahead of Alabama. I mean, Alabama's always Alabama are the New England Patriots of college football. They get every break, even if it doesn't feel like even if it's not intentional. They get every break. I mean, since Saban when the Bear was there, and the 10 years Saban's been there, they seem like they get every break falls their way.
Clemson, Alabama. What do you think of that one?
Well, Alabama had a month to get their defensive players healthy. I really thought Clemson I don't know, they couldn't get anything going offensively, and that was kind of Clemson. During the year, they were up and down as an offensive team. They had a really good defensive team, and for all those people that have slammed Florida State all season, and what Florida State played as well as Clemson did against Alabama in the same type game, this year. But Alabama getting all their defensive players back healthy, that 6 weeks off, not having to play that extra game in December, being able to get that time off ready to prepare was a big advantage for them. I think it was, and the Wrigley Field here.
Yeah.
The just the time off, and those were two teams. I mean, Alabama was a favorite in the game, so and they covered and did well. I mean, it was just Clemson just never could get anything going.
I think it showed me how good Deshaun Watson was too, because this guy, he was the game breaker a year ago. And of course, he moved right into the National Football League. Talked about this yesterday. A lot of college quarterbacks will have a great college career, move into the pros, and kind of be so. Obviously, till he got hurt this year for the Texans, Deshaun Watson was having a lights-out year as a rookie in the National Football League. So that told me, when I watched that game the other night, how good he really was and how much we maybe didn't appreciate his talents, because he was a definite game changer a year ago, and they didn't have that the other night.
He was, this year in the NFL, especially because I play fantasy football, he was on a pace. He was putting up fantasy football numbers like unbelievable, like video game type numbers, the way he was rolling with that offense. After they decide, hey, Tom Savage isn't the quarterback, we need to put him in here. He was on the verge of a historic season, especially as a rookie. And the last 2 years, he was the difference in those two games. I mean, yeah, Clemson had a better defense 2 years ago. I think the 15 team was a better defensive team. Last year was a good defensive team. This year, they were okay on defense. They were okay. They were just kind of like okay. They weren't great. They were just okay. And they were the defending champion. To me, it's kind of like the old adage of wrestling. To be the man, you got to beat the man until somebody could beat them. But Alabama did. It was a beatdown Monday night.
So, fast forward the tape to this coming Monday night. The president's going to be there. So, I was saying earlier in the show, a logistical nightmare with Secret Service and security, and I understand all that because the president's going to be there, but it's going to kind of change things as far as traffic flow, I would think, in downtown Atlanta. So he is going to be there for the game Monday night for the national championship. So down on the field between the chalks, Alabama or Georgia?
Alabama. Because Nick is so used to this. This is second nature to him. This is Kirby Smart's first big game. I mean, the pressure, and Alabama, as much everybody's going to say, well, Georgia, playing in Atlanta, it's a home field. Well, you know what? Alabama plays in Atlanta as much as Georgia does. I mean, they're there at least once a year, sometimes twice. And, I mean, to me, it's going to be about as much a home field advantage. The home field advantage is not going to be there, I don't think. And I just think Saban's a better coach. I mean, he's a better coach than Kirby. Those running backs that's going to be the thing. Can you slow that running attack of Georgia down? But if anybody can do it, Alabama's the team to be able to do it.
Nick Saban 11-0 all time against his former assistants. Another title for Saban, tying with Bear Bryant. He's 66 years old. Have a few more years to break the Bears mark. Here's another stat. Jake Fromm can be the first true freshman quarterback to win a national championship in 32 years. Alabama right now is a 4-point favorite, and so Alabama's got a stable of 5 tailbacks to throw at you. Georgia has a home field advantage
from within, and then come back and take a look at it after, kind of like what Ole Miss did.
So you wouldn't go get the Mad Hatter?
excuse me, no, I wouldn't, and I don't think he would. I don't think he would go there. I mean, you know, you could say, well, we want a clean break with the Rodriguez, but the logical thing would be go in if you've got an assistant, and you may not have an assistant. You may have to go that route. You may have to look at a Les Miles or Butch Jones or whoever else is out there left on what I call the free agent market and look for a coach and bring him in. But you might be able to find somebody on your staff that could right the ship for a year, and especially keep the kids you've already got signed.
Did Jim Moore, did he ever?
He did not.
He's never resurfaced, has he?
He's not resurfaced, and I can't. Did Sumlin take the? He didn't take the job. He didn't get a job.
You know, that's what I'm saying. He's still out there.
So he's still out there, and he, you know, there was talk about him going to Arizona State until Herm Edwards' former agent decided to get involved and bring Herm back.
Yeah. Don Carmichael talking sports here. We're live at Champion Chevrolet. Let's see.
And Arizona's a good gig. I mean, that's a good gig.
Yeah.
I mean, you're out in the West. You play, especially if you're an offensive coach. I mean, that conference it's not completely like the Big 12, but it almost is. That'd be a good job for somebody to have.
Warm weather,
exactly. Out here, I felt walking from Winged Deer to my car. I felt like Ray Scott, the frozen tundra of Green Bay today. I mean, it was just Sunday was 50 years ago that they actually played that game.
It's cold out here today, folks, but that's okay. It's going to be in the 50s by next week. We saw the extended forecast. We can just hang on here for 2 or 3 more days. It'll start breaking on Sunday, start warming up.
83 days to opening day.
There you go. 45 days to the Daytona 500. So, and I'm looking, we're doing the countdown now. We're 101 days to the Food City 500. So that tells us warm weather's coming. We just got to hang in there for a couple of more days. College basketball, Tennessee loses. North Carolina got beat last night at Florida State. Let's see, Miami loses on the road last night. They got beat. So,
you know,
I
didn't think Tennessee would be. You know, everybody picked them 13th, and the way they played in December, I said, well, this is not a 13th SEC team. Well, I can tell you what, if they don't get some things fixed pretty quick, they very well could end up 13th in the SEC. They blew a lead. They led the entire game at Arkansas. Arkansas finally tied the game with 20 seconds left. Didn't Tennessee lose it in overtime? And Tuesday night, it was especially the last 6 minutes. That was awful. I mean, they were killed on the boards by Auburn. Auburn at one time had 23, 24 offensive rebounds. I mean, Tennessee could not stop them on the board. Tennessee didn't shoot the ball that well, especially late in the game. I mean, that was a tight game that Auburn blew open in the last few minutes. And they've got to get something fixed down there. It didn't look like there was any life in Tennessee the last 10 minutes of the game.
Sellout crowd on Saturday evening. Kentucky comes to town, so it's been an official claimed an official sellout for Saturday night's game at Thompson Bowling when John Calipari brings the Wildcats to town. Should be a big ball game. That could be a season changer for Tennessee.
It could change their season if they can get fixed what they need to get fixed and can come out and beat Kentucky. Then they maybe turn around because they've got, I believe it's Texas A&M after Kentucky.
They do.
So you've got to get, if not, they could go start this season 0-4 in the SEC, and that's not where you want to be coming to try to get an NCAA berth.
We're talking to our man Carmichael. The Bucks tonight on the roll. They've won 8 out of their last 9. They're 10-4. They go to Mercer on New Year's Eve, get a 19-point win. The Southern Conference coaches picked them to win the league. So tonight they're on the road down in Alabama taking on Samford. The Bucks again playing some pretty good basketball. Coach.
Yes, I think they got kind of stuck on the road coming back from down there. I know Coach Forbes had tweeted, said can't find a hotel where it looks like we may be on the bus celebrating New Year's Eve. But they started, and it's just you got all those junior college players, all those transfers come in. ETSU's a notorious slow starting team, but they now seems like they've hit their stride, and this is the time to hit your stride, especially going into conference play.
NBA basketball. Let's take a look at that for a second or two here. The NBA last night, it was supposed to be a big marquee matchup. I watched some of it. Celtics dominated the Cavaliers.
The Cavs made it close toward the end of the first half, but then the Celtics ran away from the second half. LeBron doesn't, they signed a lot of old guys to play with him. Jay Crowder helps, gives them a little bit of young legs, but they've got to be able to get Isaiah Thomas back to playing because they've not, Dwayne Wade's at the end. He's, I don't know how much is left in his tank. Derrick Rose sat over there again. I think that's 30 straight games or whatever he's missed. They've got it right now. Boston's the cream of the crop in the East, and Toronto is playing well. Toronto won Tuesday night. They're in second place in the Eastern Conference, and they would beat right now the way that the playoff seeding was it is. Cleveland would have to go through Toronto to get to Boston to play, and it would be tough.
Top two teams in the NBA play tonight in Houston. The Rockets will host the defending world champion Golden State Warriors. Should be a great one tonight, and so it'll be number one against number two as far as who's the best right now in the NBA.
Well, and Houston knows going to be now kind of, fortunately they were able to make the Chris Paul trade because now James Harden's out for 4 to 6 weeks. So it's going to be tough for them. Both of them played last night. See how Golden State responds. Golden State won last night. Curry hit a 3 at the buzzer to beat Dallas. So they go on this Texas swing where they've got Golden State, or I think they get Houston tonight. I believe it's San Antonio either Saturday or Sunday. Usually they try to play all three of those. They try to play that Texas swing where they hit all three cities, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's a Saturday night game with the NBA package. It's usually Saturday night.
National Hockey League, the Predators skate tonight in Arizona. Arizona 9-26. The Preds are 23-10. They're kind of stumbling here of late.
They're stumbling, and the bad news for Nashville is Philippe Forsberg, their star player, out 4 to 6 weeks with an upper body injury. And he hadn't missed any time since he's been in Nashville, any significant time. But now they get Ryan Ellis, the captain, back. Ryan had missed since the end of the Stanley Cup playoffs with a lower body injury, with a leg injury. Had surgery right after the playoffs and been out all season. Came back Tuesday night in Vegas, but they lose Forsberg, and they've stumbled here after having a successful West Coast trip right before Christmas. The last 4 or 5 games, they've really struggled. They've got to try to right the ship tonight against Arizona.
So the Preds will be on the ice tonight against the Arizona squad down in the Great Southwest.
Beautiful arena. That's one I've been years ago. 11 years ago, was out at a softball conference and went to it used to be called the Phoenix Coyotes. Now it's the Arizona Coyotes. Mm-hmm. Beautiful arena there in Glendale, right next to the football stadium where the Cardinals play in the Fiesta Bowl's at.
There you go. NFL, what do you think?
I think if today my pick would be the Steelers, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Saints.
Tennessee, Kansas City on Saturday.
Kansas City.
Atlanta, L.A.
Everybody is going L.A., but Atlanta has played well on the road this year, and I like Atlanta to upset the Rams.
All right. On Sunday, wild card games, Buffalo at Jacksonville.
Well, that's a mercy killing Jacksonville. Without McCoy, and even if you have him, he's not going to be effective. That ankle injury, it's a shame because they might have had a chance against Jacksonville.
Carolina, New Orleans.
I like New Orleans. I think that run, but like I said, Butch Jones didn't know what to do with Alvin Kamara, but Sean Payton sure does.
NFC wild card sitting back and waiting. Philadelphia, Minnesota. AFC, New England, and the Steelers.
Philadelphia, I think, is one and done. I think Pittsburgh. I think this is if Pittsburgh gets Antonio Brown back, if not next week, but definitely for the championship game against New England. I think they beat New England.
Gruden going to the Raiders.
It seems like it. I keep thinking, well, he's going to pull the rug out from the Raiders like he does everybody else. But I think what he's wanting to do, he was wanting to do Saturday's game. And I'm sure the two teams that are playing Saturday, you go in and do those production meetings. I'm sure if Gruden comes in to do it, I'm sure they're going to be tight-lipped as anything, not giving him any new. I mean, even though it's going to be next year, you still don't want to give anything to put in his head.
Exactly.
So, but I think he makes the announcement either after the game Saturday afternoon. I think he says, "Well, it's been a pleasure to work here, but I'm going on to the." John will be leaving us now and going to the Oakland Raiders, which I think that will be a good thing in Oakland.
How do the Raiders get around the Rooney Rule?
They find somebody. They find somebody to interview. I mean, I'm surprised that Reggie McKenzie's not called one of his VFLs, Balls for Life.
And come in and sit down and
Robert Gillespie, to me, I was like, why wouldn't you call Robert Gillespie? Just get him out there, let him do an interview. Because, and this is what I tell job candidates, anything. You know what? You may not have a chance at a job. You may be thinking, but always go through the interview process, because you learn so much about yourself and you learn so much about other organizations.
Good point.
And if I'm somebody that's, even if I don't think I've got a chance with Raiders, I maybe pick the phone up and call McKenzie and say, you know what? I'd like to have a shot. I'd like to have an interview with you. And right now, they would take, to get around the ring rule, they would take anybody that would do that. And it's like I said, you learn as much about yourself going through, and then maybe the next time you interview for a job, maybe that helps you get the job you're looking for.
Your beloved Cowboys. If you're Jerry Jones, what do you do for 18?
Jesus. Well, you've already started with they let go of Des Bryant's chauffeur, Derek Dooley. Anybody that's on the Cowboys staff that didn't have, and these were mostly not coordinators, but like position coaches, I think they're going to clean house there. I think you see if somebody will be a sucker and take Des Bryant off your hands, because you can watch the games, and really the end of the year I didn't watch Cowboy. I had the Red Zone channel, so I just watched what was on there but he, number one, he didn't care, and number two, the skills are just, I mean, he's shot, he's gone. I mean, it's like you look at some of these other receivers in the NFL, Julio Jones, AJ Green, a lot of guys have had great years, and they're hitting their late 20s, early 30s, and you see the skills just went away.
Jason Witten coming back is a good thing.
Yeah, but it's kind of, if he comes back, what kind of role does he have?
Well, they throw him the ball more.
Well, but poor Jason, all he can do is he can go to the vet there and you throw it to him, and that's it. I mean, if he can catch, but he's really, literally, he can't go past 8-10 yards. And even if you throw it to him, I mean, eventually somewhere you've got to find a young tight end that can stretch the field a little bit. And maybe as a coach, you bring him in, as like, Jason, what do you want to do with your post NFL career life?
Front office of the Cowboys.
Do you want to be a front office guy? Do you want to come in and coach? Do you want to as coaching in your future? Because if it is, you bring him in and say, okay, we want you, like this was 30. This, I know I'm really dating myself now, going back 40 plus years. That's what Dan Reeves did. That's what Mike Ditka did. At the end of their career, the Cowboys had them on their not only were they playing, but they were coaching as well. Dan Reeves was a player coach for many years in Dallas, offensive coordinator. So I look at something like that with Jason.
Well, he says they say his roles diminished, his numbers are down. Well, they didn't throw to him. I mean, how can you go down the field at 6'5" and see Jason Witten there and go, okay, I need 8 or 6, or as you said earlier, 8 or 10 yards, 6 or 8 yards. Guys,
right? If
huge target, throw him the ball.
The only thing was the defenses then started collapsing on him. They knew, we don't have to worry about him because he's only going. If it's 3rd and 8, if Jason can only go 5. We got it made. Go ahead. They would say throw it to him because we're going to get him when he catches the ball, and that was the issue. Which I kept believing he could get 8-10 yards, but there's just nothing left in the legs. But he can catch everything. He's a smart player. He can catch everything, and that's what I'm saying. If you bring him in, if he wants to coach, if he wants to stay in football, bring him in and say we're going to have you come in and play. But your role's going to be somewhat diminished. Yeah. But we want you to help develop players, and we want you to learn more about the game.
Our man Carmichael's in the house. Coming up next, Greg Salyers here with the Major League Baseball update. What's going on with the Parks and Rec? What has the weather impacted the schedule?
Right now, no. We're still on for tonight and tomorrow. We do not cancel games usually unless we have a lot of snow. The temperatures on Saturday morning could maybe do something there. We'll look at that tomorrow. If the Johnson City schools close, then we close. Now, if any other school system in the area shuts down, I know Washington County shut down, sent kids home a couple hours ago. We don't do that, but if Johnson City does, we close. That also affects some of our community centers that we operate. Still looking, anybody, basketball referees, we are in dire needs of officials for basketball. if you're interested, come out to Wing Deer Park, fill out an application. We can use you. Just getting ready. We'll start in the next few weeks getting ready for soccer registrations for the spring. We'll start getting ready for softball coming up. I mean, it'll be here before we know it. The first tournament's at Wing Deer 7 weeks from tomorrow. So it's like, it's
walking.
It's here. Yeah, it's
double dribble.
That's
block,
charge.
Player control.
Yeah.
Going that way. Can I do it?
You can do it. You can do it. And our poor
Do I have
Reds.
to cut my hair?
Yeah. Well, no. We've had male officials out there in ponytails before.
Yeah.
Our poor Reds. I don't know if they're going to sign anybody.
The Reds.
Yeah.
This man right over has the answer. He's coming.
I don't. In the deal with.
I may be sitting in front of the two biggest Red fans in Tri-Cities right here.
In the deal with Cozart, I wouldn't give a player that age that much term if he wanted that. They've got younger players in their system. Now if he can make the move to third base for Anaheim, they should be, or the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. That could be a very lethal infield with him at third, Simmons at short, and now Kinsler at second. I mean, I know the Braves wanted a more offensive-minded shortstop, but goodness gracious, he's the best defensive shortstop probably since Omar Vasquez playing in Andrell Simmons. I mean, defensively saves you. When you look at runs, when you look at the stat runs saved, it's like he's plus triple digits and everybody else is plus double digits. I mean, he's that much and the Braves, but I see today that the Braves are talking to Florida, I guess, on the Yelich and the catcher Ramondo. I'm like, it's just their front office in Atlanta just doesn't make any sense at all. But
my man Carmichael, website for the Johnson City Parks and Rec is
www.myjcparks.org.
You here next week?
Be here next week. I think Hall of Fame voting is it next Wednesday that they announce? Mm-hmm. So we'll see. There's two guys that are not going to get the credit on the Hall of Fame ballot, but voters should have thought about more. Number one's Andrew Jones. Mm-hmm. 400. There's only 4 guys in Major League history. 400 home runs, 10 Golden Gloves. Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Schmidt, Andrew Jones. Scott Rowland, a better third baseman than a lot of people will actually look at stats on, and it's only like 6, maybe 7 third basemen in Major League history have been elected to the Hall of Fame. And with his powers, with his hitting statistics, and his defensive stats, but those won't get looked at. I mean, when you look at the Hall of Fame, they look at other numbers, and it'll be interesting to see, number one, if Edgar Martinez can finally get in, which I think he should, and number 2, you see how much closer, or if they do get in, Bonds and Clemens. That's to me Chipper's automatic. I don't think Chipper's going to be automatic to get in this time. Jim Thome's got a chance, but the interesting ones will Edgar Martinez get in, will Mussina get in, and Schilling, and how close Bonds and Clemens get. If they don't get in this year, will they be close enough to get in next year? We'll see come next week.
Lots of topics we cover, my man Carmichael. We started with college football and finishing up with baseball. Appreciate you, big dog.
Yes, sir.
Yep, stay warm, and we'll take a quick break. Come right back. We'll go right into baseball. He's here. Our Major League Baseball update guy, Greg Salyer, joins us next year from Champion Chevrolet on show number 660 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
It's the best month of the year to buy a new Chevy at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City with unbelievable savings on over 217s in stock. The rarely offered Chevrolet employee discount for everyone offers the best savings of the year. 17 Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs, $10,000 off MSRP. 17 Corvettes, 20% off MSRP. 18 Equinox LS, $22,740. 17 Track, $17,983. Remember our Saturday parts and service hours and online shopping 24/7. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Champion Chevrolet, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology has just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet, the number 1 Chevy dealer in the state. Again, it's cold outside, obviously, but ChampionJC.com is where you want to go and check things out. Do all the shopping right there online, 24/7. That's one of the neat features of having a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week website on a day like today, where you don't want to get outside necessarily, and you want to kind of check things out from the convenience of your computer at your home or business, wherever. ChampionJC.com. Do all the shopping you need to do. Of course, you'll get assigned to a sales rep, and they will work with you and work through you. Then you can do all your financials right there online. You can look at the cars you're looking at or trucks, whether it's a new one or a used one, whether it's a Chevy or Cadillac or a previously owned. And then you can, again, take a look at, I think Cletus said, at least 15 different pictures of every vehicle. Some have more than that. So you get a real tour, a real test of what you are look through of what you're actually wanting to purchase before you even get here. And you do all the financials over the internet, so all you have to do is come in here and sign the paperwork, and they'll throw you the keys, and they'll have it sitting up here running, warmed up, ready to go, and it's just that easy. ChampionJC.com. Of course, they'd love to see you come in here anyway, but on a cold day like today, say, I'd like to look, but I don't want to look. Well, you can look at ChampionJC.com. That's where you do it, and it makes it very, very convenient for you to do that. Before we get into my man, don't forget, we're very excited about the fact he's coming to town. We're going to be with him on the 22nd. He's going to be with us, I should say. We're going to be live from the Billy Graham Training Center at the Cove in Black Mountain, North Carolina on Monday the 22nd. One of our guests will be Will Graham, the evangelist who's coming to town. They call them celebrations, April the 27th, 28th, and 29th at Freedom Hall in Johnson City. We're very excited about that. And so I think he's going to be in here the next couple of weeks for a a prayer breakfast with a lot of the pastors in the area. So
that was this morning.
Was this morning, and did you go?
I was there.
Okay. Where was it? Glen Alpine?
It was at First United Methodist Church in Bluntville.
Mm-hmm. Good crowd?
Yeah, probably 250 people there.
Awesome. And Will was there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I think he's come back again. He's getting ready. He'll do another one a little bit closer to the event. And I've got that. I can't remember the date. I want to say it's in March. But anyway, good stuff. So Will was here today and well received.
Yeah, absolutely.
250 pastors or 250 people.
Yeah, 250 people. It was pastors and wives, and I saw a lot of youth pastors and guys like that hanging around too.
You impressed with Will Graham?
Yeah, I went to seminary with Will, so I've known him for 20-something years, and yeah, he's a great guy. He's the kind of guy. Well, I'll put it this way: when I was in seminary and I was working in housing maintenance, we were out one day working on these apartments, and we were replacing these outside doors on these storage units. For some reason, the people that built the thing had put interior doors on the outside, and they were falling apart. So we were replacing all these doors, and we got and it was like 95 degrees that day. I mean, it was just scorching hot, and we're working there all day. And finally, toward the end of the day, one of the last ones we did was Will Graham's apartment. And we've been there since 8 o'clock that morning working on these things, and just burning up. And as soon as we walked up and told Will what we needed to do at his apartment, he said, "Well, can I get you some lemonade?" And we were like, "Yes, thank you." First person all day to offer something to drink. And
cool.
That's just the kind of guy Will is. He's just very thoughtful, just all around good guy, just really down to earth, and good guy to hang out with. You'll like him.
Chip off the old block.
Yeah,
Granddaddy
absolutely.
and Daddy.
Absolutely.
Daddy
Yeah.
Franklin and Granddaddy Billy. So anyway, Will's going to be here. That's a neat little story. Again, the 27th, 28th, and 29th at Freedom Hall in Johnson City. Our man's in the house. That'll be our buddy, Major League Baseball update, Greg Salyer. He normally is with us on Wednesdays, but he had a funeral yesterday to preach, and so he said, "I'll come out today on a cold day and sit in the showroom at Champion Chevrolet and talk baseball." Spring training, what? Most
6
teams
weeks.
6 weeks
away.
out?
Yeah.
I was going to say 5 or 6 weeks, so it's not that far away. Now things will start heating up on the old free agent market, and what's the very latest? What's going on?
Yeah, I want to talk about the Cardinals first of all, if we could, because they're trying as best they can to add another bat. They got Marcell Ozuna, of course. They picked him up in a trade with the Marlins last month, but they would love to have one more prominent position player in their lineup before spring training, and so they're looking at Eric Hosmer. Of course, a lot of teams are looking at Eric Hosmer. We'll talk about him a little bit more in a few minutes, but Cardinals are looking at him. They're also looking maybe to trade for Josh Donaldson from the Blue Jays. That's somebody they'd like to have. They'd like to have a third baseman or first baseman. I think they would still be in on Mike Moustakas if they could get him as well. See, the good thing about the Cardinals, they've got Matt Carpenter that can play either first or third. So if they pick up a first baseman, Carpenter will play third. If they pick up a third baseman, he'll play first, and they're good with that, and he's good with that, and I think that's kind of what they would like to do at this point, and they could use some pitching as well. Probably, I think they're still maybe looking at Greg Holland as well. I think they'd like to have him at the end of their bullpen. They've lost 3 of their relief pitchers, Rosenthal and Nicasio. Are all gone, free agents this year, so they'd like to pick up another guy there. But yeah, I think we're going to see the Cardinals make another move pretty soon.
You look also, Darvish. I know the Yankees are after him now. I know he got courted by the Rangers. Of course, this is where he was before. Houston's, I looked at him. The Dodgers had him, and so what's the story on Darvish?
The other two clubs you haven't talked about is the Cubs and the Twins. But yeah, I mean, a guy that if all you saw was the World Series, you might say, why are these guys looking at this guy? But there's a lot more to his season than the World Series, and he didn't look impressive in the World Series, of course. But I'll tell you what, this guy's a solid major league starter. He's going to be helping somebody. And that's the 4 teams: Astros, Cubs, Twins, and Yankees right now. And I think the Twins think that they're just a pitcher or 2 away after the season they had last year with those young guys that they've brought up as they rebuilt, and they're there now. So don't be surprised if the Twins don't pick him up. I think the Twins are in on a lot of these free agent pitchers.
Jake Arrieta, what's the latest on him?
Yeah, Jake Arrieta. Once again, the Twins, the Astros. Can you imagine if the Astros pick up Jake Arrieta? What they will be like, or Yu Darvish? Just think about that.
They got Keuchel, they got Morton, they got Peacock,
Verlander.
God.
Yeah.
And you roll in there with Arrieta. Holy smokes.
So they're in on Arrieta. The Blue Jays would love to have Arrieta. I could see him pitching for the Blue Jays. I really could. I could see him going north of the border there. The Rockies would like to have him. Now, I understand the Rockies would love to have Jake Arrieta, but I can't see him wanting to go there, to be honest. I don't know that he would excel there in Colorado. So maybe on the road. But a lot of pitchers just don't want to go there. I mean,
it's a tough ballpark to pitch in.
Very tough ballpark to pitch in.
Yep, it's a hitter's ballpark for sure, and it's Coors Field, isn't it?
Yeah, Coors Field, and there was one pitcher on here that I was looking at earlier who who was pitching for the Rockies last year, and if you look at his numbers were really bad at home, but really good on the road, and so that'll tell you a little bit about how the ballpark plays and things like that. So
want to say hello to Rebecca Hickenbottom and also Londa Whittington up in West Virginia watching the show. Thank you very much. Also Rick Ranson down in Florida. I want to say hello to you, Tank Morrell over in Carter County. Hello to you, Kimala Williams in Johnson City and Gray. Hello to you, young lady. Appreciate you giving us a watch and a listen. John Michael. Hello, my friend. Mike Bear, good buddy of mine, watching the show. Thank you as always. So, folks out there dialed in today and watching, and be sure and like it and share it. We'd appreciate that. Tomorrow we'll be at Food City on the Volunteer Parkway in Bristol, the big one-day sale at all Food Cities tomorrow, so we'll be there. And, of course, next week, Monday, Movement Mortgage. Tuesday, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. Wednesday, Chick-fil-A. Thursday here. And then next Friday will be Food City in Jonesboro. Alex Cobb, Lance Lynn. Tell me about the story on some of these guys.
Yeah, these are some guys that have had Tommy John surgery in the past. And, those guys have made phenomenal comebacks, which, guys typically do with that surgery. Tommy John did. So, Alex Cobb, the Rangers, the Orioles, the Yankees have been in on him. Now it appears that he may be going to the National League Central with the Brewers and the Cubs having interest in him. And I could really see him right there in the middle of that Cubs rotation. I think that would help them considerably. And if the Brewers pick him up, I think that may push them up another notch in the division if they could pick up a good starting pitcher like Alex Cobb.
Who else you got?
If you still want to stay with pitchers, Andrew Kashner, the Orioles are in on him. The Orioles need to be in on a lot of these pitchers. Let's face it, they need pitching more than anything. And, they're in on Jason Vargas as well. They would still like to re-sign Chris Tillman, who's a free agent that pitched for them. And the Tigers are in on Chris Tillman as well. So, that's the pitching side of it. And, of course, we mentioned Eric Hosmer there with the connected to the Cardinals, but of course he has a couple of offers right there on the table.
Got the Padres and the Royals.
Yeah, these are the two teams that have really been after him from day one. Of course, the Royals know him best because that's where he's been playing, and they've made him the best offers so far, and they really want to keep him. But the Padres, I think, are in. They're saying, hey, that we're all in on this thing. We can move Will Myers from first base to the outfield, and stick Hosmer right in the middle of our lineup. It's interesting what he'll decide to do there. It's like $1 million a year difference in the offers, I think, something like that. But, he can go to San Diego. I mean, they're both 7-year deals. I think he's looking for an 8 or 9 year deal. He's 28 years old. I think he's thinking if he can get an 8 or 9 year deal, he's gonna rack up with that. But if he gets a 7-year deal, he's still going to want to play. Can he? What's he going to be able to get when he's 35, 36 years old?
Good point.
So he's wanting to lock up some money for those years now as well if he can. Don't know he'll get it. I think a 7-year deal may be more realistic. That seems to be about the limit that teams are willing to give anymore. We'll see what happens. But he can go to San Diego, and he can be their legitimate number one star. There's no doubt about it.
J.D. Martinez still looking at the Red Sox?
J.D. Martinez, yeah, the Red Sox, I'll be surprised if they are not in big on J.D. Martinez. He is probably he's the best hitter of all the free agents that are left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about just what he did with the Diamondbacks last year, I mean, his numbers were absolutely phenomenal just after he was traded over there. So, yeah, I think the Red Sox are the number one team for him. The Diamondbacks would love to have him back. I think the Giants, Nationals, and the Blue Jays are in on him as well. If he goes to the Nationals, I think that's going to sew up the National League East probably in about end of May.
So the spring training 6 weeks out, obviously a lot of these guys are going to get nailed down here the next probably week to 10 days, so it's going to be very busy. I know Garrett Cole with the Pirates, the Yankees are chasing him a little bit. Again, as you mentioned, Zach Britton ruptured his Achilles tendon in the offseason, the relief pitcher for the Orioles. They're looking for some help. So they're looking at a lot of the pitching core, how they can bolster their bullpen. Manny Machado looks like he's going to stay at Baltimore, so there's a lot of movement going on out there. As we get ready to start the season, I know you were telling me there's some superlatives that, some milestones may be passed this year when we get ready to get this thing started in the not-too-distant future.
Yeah, there's some of these that if these guys are healthy, they're no-brainers. They're going to happen one way or the other. The first one we'll talk about 300 home runs for Giancarlo Stanton. He's 33 away, but there's other guys that can also reach that as well. Mark Reynolds has 281, so he's 19 away. Jay Bruce has 277. Chris Davis 267, and Mike Napoli 267. So all of those guys could legitimately challenge to reach that 300 home run level. Now here's the thing about Stanton: he's only 28 years old, and it's going to be at 300 home runs for his career.
Incredible.
Yeah, and if he hits them like he did last year in July, he could reach that mark.
We're talking to our buddy Greg Sauer, the Major League Baseball update. Big Albert, he's right on the cusp of doing something good too, isn't he?
Yeah, 3,000 hits for Albert Pujols. He's 32 away from that, and if all he has to do is play, all he has to do is be on the field, and he's going to get those hits.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. That one is one that is as much a definite as anything on this list, I think, as long as he stays healthy. And he's only 269 at-bats away from 10,000 in his career. So that's a pretty big milestone as well.
Mike Trout, Joey Votto, some milestones. Tell me about those.
Yeah, well, Mike Trout is 35 away from 200 stolen bases. Now, this may be a stretch for him because he hasn't stolen that many in the last couple of years, but definitely within his reach. He has done that. So 200 stolen bases is nothing to sneeze at, and Mike Trout is 35 away. Joey Votto is 4 walks away from 1,000 for his career. That could be day 2 of the season.
Yeah.
The way Joey Votto is so patient at the plate. It could be day 1.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
I think he is.
Cooperstown.
He is. Yeah.
I know he's Reds Hall of Fame. I'm talking about
definitely Reds Hall of Famer. I think he will be in Cooperstown if he continues to play 3 or 4 more years at the level that he's playing now. He will be a no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer.
We're talking to Greg Sauer, Major League Baseball update with you. We're live here on the Tom Total Sports Show. We got about 4 or 5 more minutes left. Then we're going to wrap things up with some high school football and high school basketball from last night, and a schedule tonight that's up and running. We assume they're all on, even though some of the schools let out early today because of the cold and some light snowfall. But we'll run down the basketball schedule as we have it for tonight. We do have basketball tomorrow night here on these internet waves. We'll have Elizabethton and Sullivan South tomorrow night in a doubleheader from Elizabethton's John Treadway Gymnasium. And then on Saturday night, we will bring you the Cyclones and the Dobbins Minute Indians from the John Treadway Gymnasium. The next Tuesday, we've got Elizabethton and Unicoi County. So we got 3 nights coming up of Cyclone basketball, and they're starting to get it together. I know the boys have struggled, but it's not where you are now. It's where you are come tournament time, and they're kind of getting their kind of like a newborn calf on ice, kind of wobbly here in the early going, but they're starting to get their legs underneath them, and lost a tough game the other night to Crockett, 39-36, a game they should have won or could have won. And so we'll have those for you tomorrow night. South Elizabethton, Saturday Elizabethton Dobbins Minute, and then Tuesday Elizabethton Unicoi County, all from John Treadway Gymnasium. So a couple of more here. Who else we got as far as Verlander's got one out there hanging too as far as a milestone.
Yeah, Verlander's got a couple he's probably going to reach this coming year. 200 wins and 2,500 strikeouts. He's 12 wins away from 200 and 84 strikeouts away from 2,500. If he stays healthy, playing for the Astros this year, he should reach both of those very easily, I would imagine. Think about this guy. He had a phenomenal World Series, phenomenal postseason in general. A week later, married Kate Upton, then was on every television show you could turn the TV on. There he was, and now here he is, ready this year to just reach some milestones, that a lot of guys have played a lot longer and have not reached. So Justin Verlander, I think he will definitely get those. Here's another no-brainer. Here's another one that's going to be easy. Joe Mauer's 14 hits away from 2,000. So, wow. Yeah. So
he started Elizabeth.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And, still playing for the Twins. And that's another one that 3 weeks into the season, he could easily have his 2,000th hit.
Jose Altuve, again, about to hit a milestone. It was announced that the Astros have accepted an invitation to go to the White House to meet President Trump to celebrate their World Series championship. I know Golden State said they didn't want to come, and Trump said, okay. He had a couple of guys on the team kind of throwing barbs at him and said, okay, we don't want you to come. And they're not going, but the Astros are going to the White House later on this spring before spring training starts to meet the president, which is a traditional when you win a championship in whatever sport you win it in. And so Warriors said no, Astros said we're going, and one of those should be Jose Altuve. Why would you not go to the president? Why would you not go to the White House? Why would you not put the political things aside and go into the White House and get treated like royalty because you won a championship?
Just stupidity. That's the only thing I can think of.
Here's your sign. So, God. I mean, if I get a chance to go to the White House for anything, to eat a Frosty, I'm there, man. It's like, whatever you want me to do, just to go to the White House. Not because Trump there, just to the White House is one of those icons of our American culture. Who wouldn't want to go inside and check out the White House? But anyway, Astros are going later on between now and spring training. Jose Altuve, who got started in Greenville, by the way, in the Appalachian League, he's got a couple of milestones out there too.
Yeah, he's 16 home runs away from 100 homers, and he should be able to reach that this coming year. And that's not a huge milestone if you think about it, but for a second baseman for the Astros it is, because there's only one other guy that's ever done it, and that's Craig Biggio. So he's close there to Biggio. And he's 39 runs away from scoring 600 runs for his career. That's a pretty good number. So in 7 seasons. So that's some things that I think we're going to see coming up this coming season, and some good things for us to look forward to.
Before I let you go, any more thoughts on Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I was listening to what Carmichael was saying, and he's right about some of these guys like Andrew Jones and Scott Rowland, who unfortunately they come on the ballot in a season in a year in which there's other guys that are going to get a lot of votes. Let's face it, Chipper Jones. We're seeing guys like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens getting more and more votes every year. I think they're on the cusp of getting elected this year. I personally am not in favor of that. I know a lot of the writers are at this point, and it seems to be the younger writers that are doing that. But I think Chipper Jones is no doubt going to get in. I'd like to see Vladimir Guerrero get in. I'd like to see Curt Schilling get in as well, and Edgar Martinez. I think he deserves it. I think the only reason Edgar Martinez has not been voted in already is because he was mainly a DH. And that's just kind of tough. But, we'll see what happens when David Ortiz gets there, who's also mainly a DH, because I think he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Big Poppy.
Yeah.
There you go. Anything you want to leave us with?
Let me think. There's some good stuff that's happening. I listened to some things on social media sometimes from some fairly, well, maybe not so well-known players, and Ricky Davis, guy who pitches for the Reds, started out in the rotation last year, ended up getting sent down, had some injury issues as well last year, but I'll tell you, he has stepped up and reached out to a young fan who has had some severe health issues, and spent some time with this young man, gave him an autographed game-used jersey and things like that. And, I love it when I see these young guys doing that, these guys who aren't making millions yet. He's making hundreds of thousands, but he doesn't have $1 million contract, and but yet he's giving up his time. He's putting forth an effort. Plus, he's from Sneads Ferry, North Carolina, and that's not very far from where I used to live, and I actually know the pastor that baptized him. And this is what he said to me. He said, or his wife said, the thing that I remember about Rookie, because that's what they've called him his whole life. She said, the thing I remember about him, when he was a little boy, he always carried his glove even to church. So he brought his baseball glove to church with him.
Serious.
So, yeah. So even as a little kid, he did that. So when you hear about a player that's giving back to the community, especially in the off season, and doing those things that kind of above and beyond the call of duty, it's impressive.
Sure, the right things. Rookie Davis, good stuff. See you next week.
Yes, sir. I'll
the
be
chicken
here.
coop.
Yeah, sounds good.
He'll be at the chicken coop next week. Can't give him food today here at Champion. Get him a car.
They could give me one of these Corvettes in the showroom. I'd be happy with that.
And then you can drive through Chick-fil-A.
I'd be happy with an oil change if they just do that.
I love it. See you next week.
Yes, sir.
He's a good man right there. Appreciate him very much. We are live here again at Champion Chevrolet, so we want to, again, wind this thing down, and we want to do that by talking about some high school football and also some high school football and basketball. Let's run those down for us real quick and before we get out of here, as we are working our way through the final minutes here of the show number 660. And so high school basketball last night, it lived up to its billing as far as the crowd. Over 2,800 watched it. Gate City's Mike McClung had 31. Gate City beat Union 70-56. Also last night, all Virginia scores. Abington over Ridgeview by 9. Honaker beat Chohalle by an 8-point score last night. Patrick Henry of Council 61-45, and Wise Central beat John Battle 74-48. Tonight, boys action should be a big one and a good one. It's going to be happening at Daniel Boone's Bobby Snyder Gym. Science Hill goes to Daniel Boone tonight. Sullivan Central at Chucky Doak, and Pineville, Kentucky at Thomas Walker. In girls basketball last night, in overtime, Abington defeated Ridgeview 63-59. Gate City's Lady Blue Devils win by 8, 48-40. Wise Central over John Battle 77-41. Tonight, again, for the ladies, huge matchup. Scotty Whaley's Science Hill Lady Hilltoppers against Travis Mains's Lady Trailblazers at Daniel Boone tonight. Sullivan Central, Chucky Doak, and also in Southwest Virginia, Pineville, Kentucky at Thomas Walker. So it should be a big night for high school basketball at the Bobby Snyder Gym on the campus of Daniel Boone High School tonight because of those ball games going on this evening. All right, now I want to get this other story. Here it is right here. Several local players named to the Tennessee Football Coaches Association All-State Football Team from Science Hill. Jalen Adams and Trey Gastiger are on the Tennessee Football Coaches Association All-State teams. Also, Dawson Pearson of Dobbins Minute named as an offensive lineman of the 6A team. Bailey Presnell of Daniel Boone named All-State Offensive Lineman in Class 5A. Also, you have the dynamic duo of Elizabethton's Carter Everett and wide receiver Ryan Wetzel named to the 4A team. Sullivan South's Ethan Ward named as an athlete. State champion Greenville had 4 guys on the all-state team. Quarterback Cade Ballard, offensive lineman Chris Everhart, wide receiver Dorian Goddard, and defensive back Seth Crawford. Oh, by the way, Ballard's a junior. He's back next year. Johnson County quarterback Nathan Arnold on the 3A team, while the team's leading tackler linebacker Hayden Osborne also named a defensive athlete. And from Happy Valley, they had 2 representatives, Landon Moorfield on the Class 2A offensive line, Braden Sams as a defensive back, and in 1A, Cloudland's Jordan Coffey named as an offensive athlete, while Unaka was represented by quarterback John Ramsey and wide receiver Blake Isaac. So a lot of our local youngsters doing well, and the Tennessee Football Coaches Association All-State team that was announced again yesterday from Nashville. So there you go. We are out of time. I want to pass on 2 more stories. I forgot to get on for college football. Southern California quarterback Sam Darnold skipping his final 2 seasons of eligibility to enter the NFL draft, and also Josh Rosen, the quarterback for UCLA, also going to skip his senior season and move on to pass in the National Football League. So, and also Auburn quarterback Carlton Davis and tailback Cameron Pettiway are skipping their senior seasons as well. So some of these guys already coming out and saying, Kerryon Johnson did it early in the week. Orlando Brown did it yesterday, the big offensive lineman for Oklahoma, saying we're going to skip our senior season and go right to the NFL for next year. Again, happy birthday to Don Shula, the Football Hall of Fame coach, 88 today. That's our celebrity birthday today. And also actress Diane Cannon, 79, and actress Julia Ormond having a birthday. She is 53, but I guess the biggie in the sports world, Football Hall of Fame coach Don Shula, 88 years old today. We are out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Back in the saddle tomorrow. I'll be live at Food City in the Volunteer Parkway in Bristol. Thanks to Cletus Green, the new car sales manager here at Champion Chevrolet. Also, our buddy Greg Salyer with the Major League Baseball update. Also, Carmichael. And again, we will reconvene tomorrow at 11 o'clock. We'll be live at Food City on the Volunteer Parkway in Bristol. Until then, as we always tell you, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Until we greet you tomorrow at 11 o'clock from Food City and Volunteer Parkway in Bristol for show number 661. Until then, as always, we'll tell you, win or lose, be a good sport. Like us and share us. We'd appreciate that. We'll see you tomorrow at Food City. So long, everybody.